What's up, everybody? It's David. Welcome back to Paramotor Crazy. You know, a lot of times I get asked what apps am I using when I'm flying. There's a lot of great apps out there. Some of them I don't use. For example, Skyfly High is a good one. I choose to use PPGPS and also Altitude Plus. I like Altitude Plus. I think it's very accurate on the altitude, but PPGPS really gives me good navigation, being able to put in waypoints. Todd Falstad has a great video that he just put out a couple weeks ago on using waypoints, but much more technical. I'm going to put a link to that video in the description, so take a look at that if you can. But I'm going to show you today how to set waypoints and use waypoints on PPGPS. First thing I'm going to do is clear out any waypoints that I've had so far. So I'm clicking on waypoints. I'm going to hit clear. Okay, so all my waypoints are now gone. Now I'm going to click on where it says add on map. By the way, to get there I hit that little information or I at the bottom, waypoints, and there you go. So now Solid Rock Church. Solid Rock Church is a church that I flew out to, oh gosh, on one of my very first videos. And it's got that big, I think it's 62-foot Jesus out there. So let me see if I can't find it. Okay, so here is Solid Rock Church. And I'm going to click and hold. And there it goes. I got that little guy that shows up, and it's going to be Waypoint 1. Now let's say I want to go back over to the soccer fields. You remember the soccer fields? Of course you do. It's where the police told me I couldn't fly that day. But they were nice. And I can come back. And that's all that matters. Alright, so the soccer fields are somewhere over here. Let's see if I can't find them. So every time I want to add another waypoint, I got to go back and I got to hit add on map. And then I just hold my finger on the screen for a second or two. Just give it a little tap, and there's the waypoints. Now if I click on waypoints on the bottom left corner, you see waypoint 1 and waypoint 2. So if I click on waypoint 1, it pops up. I'm going to go back into that a second. So if I click and hold on waypoint 01, I can actually rename it. So I'm going to hit rename. I'm going to put church. Okay. And I'm going to click and hold on waypoint 2, and I'm going to hit rename. I'm going to just call it soccer field or soccer. All right. So now I've got my two waypoints. I hit done. So if I click on them, I can pick out which one I want to go to. You see on the bottom left corner, it says soccer, but we're going to go to the church first. So the church is 3.8 miles away. It's showing my bearing at 266. And once I start flying, that number will pop up at the bottom and show me how long it'll take to get there. All right. And if you're not familiar with PPGPS, the bottom right shows you your elapsed time of your flight and your distance that you've gone. On the top right, it shows you what your altitude is, your bearing, as well as your ground speed going from right to left. I always reset my altitude to ground level or AGL, and I click on hold on altitude, and this box pops up. I'm going to click on the second one there, which says set actual altitude 0. So now it's at 0. At the very end, if I click on hold on the ALT or just tap on the ALT, it will show me what my maximum altitude was, and same thing for ground speed. I could click and hold on that, and of course right now it's very low because I haven't gone anywhere yet. I'll also show you your average too for your ground speed. All right, so that's how you set up the waypoints. Let's get in there and see how we use them. So today it's interesting. Yesterday I was here at the airport at about 5:45 and we were fogged in, as it turned out. And today, the ground's pretty wet. I'm all laid out here, but the wind keeps switching a little bit and maybe tempting fate. This is a little trick I found really helpful to make a lot of successful launches here. I just take some small little 59-cent Johnson's baby powder and just squeeze it. I can see which way the wind's going. The wind's blowing away from me. I really should be set up the other way, but it's just been switching here and it's so light. I may give it a try. I may wait a few more minutes just to see how the wind switches here, so probably going to give it another minute or two and just see what happens. But again, it's such a nil wind, it may not make much of a difference in the launch, so we might give it a try. out pretty well. It was very, very no winds. Usually I wouldn't do that, but just felt good. So looking at PPGPS, you can see right now I'm at, it's bouncing between 15, 17 miles an hour. It just depends on how I'm going into the wind. Altitude, you can see I'm definitely more than 19 feet up. And if I switch over to my other app, Altimeter Plus, a second here, it'll show I'm already at 250 feet above ground level, so you can see there's a definitely difference in the altitude between the two of them. But back over here, you can see on the bottom left corner it says I'm 3.9 miles away from the church. Okay, so looking at the screen here, you can see the blue line shows me my direction right now. The green line is the path towards my waypoint. In this case, is the church. You can see there's a red triangle, and that red triangle tells me I'm taking on a headwind 12 miles an hour, but it's actually just coming ahead of me and to my left. So I can compensate for that, and then the system itself takes that into account as well. Looking at the bottom left corner, it says I'm 3.3 miles away. It tells me my heading, so it tells me I need to be going 262 is my bearing, and at the top I'm going 263, so I'm almost right on the target. I'm almost heading directly towards it. And bottom left corner shows me it's 15 minutes away at the speed I'm going right now. Bottom right corner tells me I've been flying for 4 minutes and I've already gone 1.2 miles. I'm getting pretty close. I can see the church is right there in front of me, and looking at my app, it says I'm about 1.2 miles away, only 6 minutes away from being right on top of it here. I'm just kind of adjusting my bearing just because of the wind a little bit too. As you can see right now, it's got about 10 to 11 miles an hour is my ground speed. It's pretty slow ride out here. But as soon as I make my turn, I start heading back to my second waypoint. I'm going to have a tailwind. It's really going to pick me up in speed. You'll see that too. Alright, so as you can see, here's the church right here in front of me, showing that I'm just 3 minutes away, about a half a mile away from the church. So I know I got my spot. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that box on the bottom left, and I'm going to click on soccer. And that's going to give me my next bearing for my soccer field. So I'll start heading that way here in a second. Gonna see about flying over the church here real quick, see if we can't get a good look at the big Jesus statue as we fly past it, and then we'll turn and head towards the soccer fields. It's a horse track. This is called Miami Valley Gaming. Another casino popped up in our area, and that's the racetrack right there in front of me, and the casino just off to the right. And you can see right now that I got that tailwind, I've got up to about 30 to 35 miles an hour, so we're really going to make some speed heading back. And even though it's only 4 miles away, with this wind behind me, it's only going to take me, it says 9 minutes there. You can see that in the bottom left corner. So pretty cool using these waypoints. It really helps you get around, especially if you go to a fly-in or anywhere where you're not familiar with your surroundings. You can go ahead and set these waypoints so you can always make sure you're finding your way back to your LZ. Huge benefit to having it. So a while back I made a video called People Who Teach Paramotoring on the YouTube, and there's a little box in the top right corner if you want to go back and watch it. One person I didn't talk about is Woody Gamertag, and Woody is a phenomenal pilot, and he's got his own podcast, and I got to meet him at Bad Apples a couple weeks ago. He gave me some very good advice on sound for our show Paramotor Nation on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And and immediately I implemented his advice. But when Woody is doing videos, I mean, sometimes he's doing videos that are showing off his acro, which is amazing. He does an amazing job with acro. But sometimes he's just educating. And his last video, and I'll put another little box up in the top right corner, or either that or a link in the description. And he talks about tips about landing and just going up high, cutting off your motor, and landing in your field, picking a spot and just trying to land there. He also said when you go up, kill your motor and then try to restart it again, just so you know that it will restart if you need to. I'm not going to go into all that again, all the advice that he gave. I'd rather you hear it directly from him than from me, so it doesn't get lost in translation. But I'm going to try to do what he said, and on this flight, since I've got a little time, take his advice. Just learn from everybody that you can possibly learn from. What to do, what not to do. Damn it, a bug just flew in my eye. I'm this high up in the air and a bug still flew in my eye. That just sucks. Came in fast. He was coming in hot. Went right for the pupil. So pretty up here, all this green. Remember when it was all brown and nasty up here? I'd be flying up here in the fall and the winter. It was all brown and nasty. Now it's so green and lush. Love it. Wish it could always look like this. I really got to move to North Carolina. I can't stay in Ohio. As soon as these kids graduate high school, I'm out. Me and my wife, we're going to get an RV. We're going to go move into the state of North Carolina. A lot of good people there. A lot of amazing pilots there. And it's nice all year round. I don't believe it. I just got hit by a second bug in the eye. It's like a mile apart. And I'm like at 400 feet. This is ridiculous. What the heck is going on? So I'm coming back up to the airport here, and right over in that little small section right next to the runway, that's my goal to land. So I'm going to get up a little bit of the altitude, I'll then cut my motor, and that's where I'm going to try to land. So right now, looks like I'm at 1,100 feet AGL, and we'll give it a shot. I'm going to cut my motor off first. Okay, motor's off now. I'm going to see if I can't restart this thing with a pull start. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, it did restart. So that's good. I should need it. But as Woody says, once you start getting low, you don't want to be doing that. Wow, it's so much nicer and quieter up here. Let's see. So I'm just going to circle around this way. Got a lot of tailwind right now. I'm going to turn into the tailwind here in a second. Just try to circle the pattern. So my goal, there's a little bit of an antenna down there. You probably can't see it, but my goal is to land somewhere in that area right there. With 12-mile-an-hour winds, I'm just worried about drifting away. So I'm going to stay right above all this green. Hopefully make a couple S-turns. Although right now I'm pretty much nearly parked. Just barely moving forward. Alright. I think a new pilot trying to do this, your heart's going to be beating through your chest. I mean, even I'm a little nervous. But you practice and you practice and get better, I guess. So I'm going to make a quick turn here. Try to stay above the grass because I don't want to go into all that mud. And this is gonna, oh, there goes a plane right there. See, that's why you stay off the runway. So I'm just making a couple turns here. That really took some altitude away right there. So smooth. Oh, my goal is to land right in that field there. I want to be pretty darn close, I think. Make a couple more S-turns and just bleed off a little bit more altitude. There's no planes coming in either direction. Don't want to land on the antenna. This. I'm gonna do alright. Right about where I wanted, right in this field. This is where I said I wanted to land. Alright. I'm gonna come around just a little to the right. Look at this. What a great flight. Oh, nice landing. Wings coming down to the side, just like it should. And there we go. All right. Let's take a quick look at the GPS here, now that we're on the ground safely. Where it says altimeter, it says my maximum altitude was 1,085. When I was on altimeter plus, I was just over 1,100, so they're close. I think the altimeter plus is a little more accurate. I'm going to click on the top left button there. So it says my maximum ground speed was 41.4 miles an hour. Looking down to the bottom right, the distance I covered was 19.2 miles, and my elapsed time of flying was 1 hour and 2 minutes. So there you go. If you have any questions on PPGPS or on Altimeter Plus, leave it in the comment below. I've posted the videos for Woody Gamertag's last video that really helped me on that landing right there, as well as Todd Falstad on Waypoints. Just very, very technical stuff, but good stuff to learn, and check out all of their videos. They're both great. If you found this video helpful, give me a little thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. I want to thank everybody that has subscribed. It's just been very humbling. And one last thing too, I had a little contest not too long ago for a sign out, because whatever sign outs I was doing was really not all that great, and Hobbs family won, and so I've got to use the Hobbs family sign out right now. I owe you at least five sign offs, and I'm just so happy for all of the support that you've given me, Hobbs, so thanks so much. So as I do this sign off, the one thing he did ask me to do is to drop the mic. I don't have a mic. I'll do the best I can on this part, just this once. I'm not going to do this again. But all right, here we go. Until next time, keep it crazy, but be safe. I'm out. That didn't work so good. All right.